que tengo, no busco cualquiera, es un maldición. En la noche siento el olor, casi loca por tu amor. No quisiste mi calor, me dejaste sin razón. En la noche siento el olor, casi loca por tu amor. No quisiste mi calor, me dejaste sin razón. Ya no quiero más tu karma, no vuelvo más a esta cama. Si no quieres más mi alma, no vas a ver mi puta cara. Ya no quiero más tu karma, no vuelvo más a esta cama. Si no quieres más mi alma, no vas a ver mi puta cara. Tengo todo lo que tengo, no busco cualquiera, no maldición. Tengo todo lo que tengo, no busco cualquiera, es un maldición. En la noche siento el olor, casi loca por tu amor. No quisiste mi calor, me dejaste sin razón. En la noche siento el olor, casi loca por tu amor. No quisiste mi calor, me dejaste sin razón. Ya no quiero más tu karma, no vuelvo más a esta cama. Si no quiero más mi alma, no vas a ver mi puta cara. Ya no quiero más tu karma, no vuelvo más a esta cama. Si no quieres más mi alma, no vas a ver mi puta cara. Ya no quiero más tu karma, no vuelvo más a esta cama. Si no quieres más mi alma, no vas a ver mi puta cara. Vas a ver mi puta cara.
Gotta get settled here. I have to be like off to the left a little bit. It just feels so strange. Hey, welcome everybody there in BC WrestlePod land. I know this looks a little different than usual. This is the AEW All In Texas review, but we have 50% more bald and amazing joining us tonight, so it's going to be better than usual.
The bald ratio, we've gone up. It's great.
It's so amazing. I am Timeless Rigatoni Storm, JVL, here to help you out. Mikey is on a well-deserved vacation, so therefore he has trusted myself with the hosting duties and the Adolfo and the ones and twos who will be popping in here and there as he goes. So please drop those comments. Adolfo will help us out there. But I'm not alone tonight. Just like Hangman Adam Page wasn't alone in his AEW experience, I am joined both by the Professor, who somehow we're in the same room again. I don't know how this is working.
Yeah, we went for months and months and months of never being in the same room, and then we're on a streak now. It seems to be working out.
Very strange, very strange.
I have plenty to talk about. Lots of stuff that we'll get in there. Who's this other bald gentleman? Who's quite gorgeous looking, if I may say.
I'm just reading off the placard, but I've also been told ahead of time because obviously we want to be informed about this type of thing. This is our good friend Benny, who you may have seen our comments as well, and also has a great mind for wrestling. Benny, please tell us about yourself, why you're here, why you're filling in, why Mikey paid you so much to be here.
Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. And honestly, I'm just here to have fun and ready to rock and roll.
That's all we can ask.
I'm remembering now. You've commented on a handful of things. We've gotten heads up in the chat before. I remember.
Benny. Oh, yes, you have.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, you have. Well, we are excited to have you here with us, Benny. I really want to get your take on some of these matches here, especially because this was a hell of a long pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we were discussing earlier before we got on. I did not watch this all in one sit down because that was just going to destroy me. So I watched it in chunks. I know Mikey did the watch along, and a few other folks were able to do that stuff. Madness, just goodness.
I love that Mikey's trusting us to host this and talk about this when we both abandoned him at the watch along because we both had other things come up. I feel like we were bad Bi-Conic people at that point, but that we can discuss this as we're going along. Please let us know in the comments what you think about that. Whether you enjoyed Mikey soloing it, also with Nick, also great stuff. But usually I don't want to go into the 0 hour matches. They're usually not the best, but these were surprising. We started off with I'm going to say the Iron Man of the evening because both Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara were in this tag match, having just had a tag match the night before on ROH's summer basically the summer program there. And they're taking on, again, them and the Von Erichs are taking on Shane Taylor Productions, which is Carly Bravo and Sean Dean of the Infantry. And then Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty making his debut again on All In. Gentlemen, did you watch this match? 2, what did you think of the 8-man tag we had going to open the show?
The highlights I've seen looked solid and fun. I did not watch 0 hour, full admission. I've been grading papers for 3 days. But the highlights and other stuff that I've heard is like, oh, this looks great. I'd like to go, when I get a chance, to go back and take a look at it, some of the 0 hour stuff. But you're right. 0 hour has made us really sad in the future, in the past, thinking of the future. Where we're like, oh, yeah, cool. We'll watch this in the 45 minutes in. Like, but I don't even know if this
I'm going to walk this back for a second.
0 hour, we're like, oh, God, what have we done?
Professor, I got to walk it back here. You were grading papers? Aren't you off for the summer?
No, I did a summer class.
Oh, your students must hate you. Anyway.
Oh, they do.
Benny, did you watch 0 hour?
I did. And I think the SCP is like one of those teams that like they shine every single time that they're on. Like I hate to say that, like, they should be on. I hate to call it the main roster, is what I mean. Like, but like they really like every single time. Like Lee Moriarty, probably just fantastic all around. Shane Taylor doing the the run around the ring spot where he was taking out everybody, and
yeah,
just running through him like a freight train. And that guy should be in the TNT picture, to be honest with you.
Interesting. You want him to jump out of ROH, not go for any titles in ROH. You want him in the TNT picture now.
I think he's just a super solid TV wrestler, you know?
I agree with you. He has definitely got a lot going behind him, and Lee Moriarty's kind of like brought himself out as that pure champion type of a person where he's really technically sound. And the addition of the infantry to SCP has really kind of given them that up they didn't have for a while. So that has been really fun to see. But as we saw here, the winners in Texas are going to end up being the Sons of Texas and the Von Erichs. We see them go out there and wrestle a heck of a match, but we thought everything was done here. We thought things were going to be fine. This was a good way to open the night, really kind of a good way to set the tone. But we got our second match, which I don't know how to set this up correctly, because you either love this or you absolutely hate this. Because it's another kind of like, 4-man matches. It's the Don Callis family, which is Lance Archer, Hechicero, Trent Beretta, and Rocky Romero, taking on the newly put together conglomeration of Hologram, who's never been in the conglomeration, Tomohiro Ishii, Kyle O'Reilly, and Big Boom AJ with the Rizzler. Like, I don't know about you guys, but this seemed like this was not thrown together, but this was kind of like we probably should get a little bit of extra sauce on this 0 hour to make anything make sense.
Yeah, and it sounds like the action figure match, right? Where we're just pulling them out of the bin and we're putting them all out there because we need to. And I mean, everyone wants in there. Like, everyone wants something to do. Everyone's already in Texas. They're going to be watching it anyway. Might as well get matches out of them. I heard this was okay. I don't know anything that happened in it. Again, I was admitting I didn't watch 0 hour. But the internet seems to have enjoyed this, but everything else, of course, overshadowed it after the fact.
Benny, you know what I'm going to come to you with when I'm asking about this. That spear by little Boom there. Like, do we think what level is he at right now? Is he up to like Braun Breaker, or has he got a lot of ways to go?
I think he needs to slow down a little bit, to be honest with you.
He did bend Trent Beretta in half. It was kind of strange to watch.
What happened? Was it gross? Was it just awkward?
John,
what happened?
Do what you do during these. Pull up the highlights. Take a look. You'll see it in a second. No. I mean, Benny, you know what I'm talking about here. Trent Beretta takes it for the team here to do the comedy spot that's there, and gets absolutely wrecked by this little guy with a spear that was like a la Edge. It was very strange. Were you excited for this type of match, or like this is kind of like that might be the bathroom break or like get the last bit of snacks made before I start watching?
A little bit half and half. Like to be completely honest with you, like with Big Tom coming in during that promo like last week or whatever, like that popped me huge. Tom is Tomohiro Ishii is literally like the best straight man for like anybody on the roster, you know?
Yeah.
And so I also did sort of take a pause during this one, but like I came back just in time to see that spear.
So you got the whole match out of the way, which is good. You didn't have to watch it, and now you just saw the one thing people are talking about.
Pretty much.
Man, that kid's lucky he didn't blow his shoulder out. He totally like reached at the last second, like I got him. Like, oh no, go into the target, into the target.
Oh man.
I mean, cool varsity jacket though. I mean, he did it. He did it.
Hologram. I want to see Hologram and Tomohiro Ishii on a team somewhere, because that's like the big little move that you definitely want to see working there.
Okay.
But this was kind of like like I said, you either hated it or you loved it. You were just kind of involved with it. I don't know if we really needed it, but it was kind of fun to have. The next match we had should have been on the main card.
Sure.
And
this
I'm
also
putting
what
it
I've
out
heard.
there. Benny, I'll come to you first. FTR versus Outrunners, where they actually get a shot. Should we be having this more often? Should this be for a title somewhere?
To be honest with you, I don't know if either of these teams, right? Speaking of right now, need to be around the title scene. But I think that what they're doing is perfect with each other, and that like they're sort of just like building each other at this point, because like the Outrunners have always just been like that, meme team. If to be completely honest,
Yeah.
like they come out there and they got their trunks that look like a pack of Newports.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were Newport menthols, though. We made sure that they were menthols.
And what like FTR has been doing with the Outrunners lately, it's just been like lighting a fire underneath them, so you see like there's a little bit less as one-dimensional.
Exactly. They finally feel like the team they were before this whole schmoz up with Adam Copeland. Like they're back to where they were beforehand. Professor, like, you didn't watch this either, but did you at least see the colors of their trunks? Like, they weren't Slims, they were definitely menthols, right?
It was yes, definitely menthols. I thought that was brilliant. I like the Outrunners. I think they're fantastic. I want to see more of them. I don't know if we ever will, based on other things.
Oh.
I don't. Huh?
I said, oh.
Yeah, I just don't know what the thing is. I really, really liked FTR 2 years ago. Really, really liked FTR. And now I'm just sort of I shouldn't be take it or leave it with FTR because they're so good. They're amazing.
They are.
But for some reason, even after the 6 hours of this, and even with what happens, what to talk about, I'm still like, okay. Like nothing's got me. I mean, maybe now that we have had some sort of full circle Rashomon of who coming back, and we'll talk about that. I don't want to bury the lead.
Well,
maybe
that's part of the reason he's coming back is they're obviously building to that later on.
Yeah, but some of their promos, some of the other stuff going on, like, and that's hard to say because they're both stupid talented and do some incredible things, but. One
of them's really good at getting in trouble for aggravated assault, so it's kind of weird.
Yeah, one can leave the country, and one looks like that stepdad. So I mean, it's a little in between.
A little in between. Benny, I do want to ask you because you haven't been on the reviews with us for the last couple of weeks, but you've been watching FTR and their kind of evolution with Stokely Hathaway. Do you feel that Stokely's been a good addition to them and actually helped them out in the long run, or is he kind of hindering where they could go?
Oh, I actually. I love it. I'm just happy that to see Stokely on my TV. To be honest with you, with FTR being these sort of creative heels, right? They seem to they seem simpatico. It's just sort of a perfect matchup, I think.
It definitely. I know, Professor, we talked about this for a while, but Mikey and I were pining for Stokely to get out of ROH at some point, actually be showcased for what he can do. And this has been a nice kind of springboard for him to get there without being like the authority figure.
He's actually having fun now.
Right.
The last few promos he's done, the last few Dynamites that we've seen, and then leading up to this, I think he had another one on Collision that was really good. He's having fun with it. He's a lot looser. Nothing against the whole him, Willow, Chris Statlander mess. Ugh. He just seemed kind of stuck and was sort of, I'm going to say these lines as opposed to be kind of cut loose a little bit. So he is having fun with it and is probably saving FTR for the most part, just kind of making that interesting. Because as we'll talk about, when you hear them on commentary later, they're terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. Oh, they are terrible. Utterly terrible.
I don't know, they forgot how to talk from the ramp to the desk. They just, oh man, it was painful. And we had to hear more Taz and Taz trying to fill space. You just chromosomes fall out of your head. What is happening? Anyway,
where's Ian Riccaboni for the last 3 or 4 weeks? We needed him for most of that.
Ian could do this all by himself.
Get
Ian's
Caprice in
amazing.
there, knock out Taz.
I'm not sure why they're burying Ian. Like, they don't want to use him for any of these things. Is it because he's that good? Like, they're just going to Corey Graves him and put him in some sort of purgatory where we never get to hear him?
I mean, he had to be on Ring of Honor the night before, so maybe he didn't have a voice. But as I was saying here, that kind of ended our run at the 0 hour part of it. We got through FTR, we got through all that stuff. They would be back to visit us at the end of the night, as we've hinted at. But we jumped into our first match of the evening. We open Y'all In 2025 from Texas with the AEW Trios Championship. Things that have never been defended regularly or at all for the most part. We have the Ops taking on the Death Riders, and we were saying in our chat basically beforehand that this was going to kind of set the tone. Is this the death of the Death Riders? Is this them kind of disappearing, or would they take these back and make something weird happen like this? So we have Samoa Joe, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Shibata versus Claudio, Wheeler Yuta, and Gabe Kidd, their mercenary who doesn't want to be in AEW. Gents, what did you think of our first opening match?
Go, Benny, go. Go, Benny, go.
All right, cool.
You got this.
Sorry, I didn't want to step on your toes, you know?
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
You're below him, so it's okay. You can't step on toes.
Well, I digress. But this whole Gabe Kidd thing with the Death Riders has been pretty interesting to me. But like, what a trio the Ops are. Just walking out like just absolute badasses. And
no, you're right about that. They have this just kind of like air about them because they've gotten so much bigger without a hook, which has been nice. John, with this, like any of these guys, like Wheeler Yuta taking the brunt of everything in this match. We're used to this at this point, but did he at least sell better than usual?
I'm sadly when Wheeler Yuta's in a match, we go, "Oh, it's you." So it's a shame. Like, oh, you're gonna get destroyed.
Tonight's the night I'm getting beat up.
Oh man, and it's getting a full emo haircut. Okay, I gotta stay on topic though. We're gonna go full tangent. These are the things. Wheeler Yuta is one of the better sellers in the company, up there with Ricochet and a few others. Like, he's incredible when he does it.
Are you saying that because he's in the basement of most divisions?
I mean, yes, that's kind of why it hurts to say that out loud. I enjoyed this. This was a great way to start. We were sort of nervous that they were going to start with Tony and Mercedes, and sort of set them up momentum wise, because coming in out of 0 hour, it's always a hit 50-50. Like, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? I thought this should start it. You got big man meat slapping each other, and that's what you wanted. Some of those chops Wheeler Yuta took in the middle was like, oh, they're just trying to hurt him, like bully. But Wheeler does have that little bit of a smile on his face, like, this is kind of awesome though. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm glad you're enjoying it at least.
We have, and then we have Gabe Kidd, who's kind of that wild card in there.
Sure.
Take a bunch and kind of go in certain places, but also I come back to Gabe Kidd made multiple promos in other companies saying how much he didn't want to come to AEW or deal with this stuff, and then he's here as a mercenary for John Moxley. It just felt odd.
I'm kind of new to the storyline with him, so I did hear that the last few days. Like, he didn't even want to be there. He said all these things previously. He's like, okay, cool, weird flex. It just tells me that I think the Death Riders are either dissipating or they're going to try to double down on this, which always is painful because we're going to get 9 more months of, oh God, I don't care about your white t-shirt stuff. Trying to be kind. So I don't know. Hopefully Gabe Kidd's not stuck in that in-between place, which tends to happen with certain wrestlers. Mick Forehead at another company and a few others over here that just kind of get stuck in the middle of factions feuding because we don't know where to plug you in. I hope that's not the case. He seems talented. He had 1 or 2 great spots on the outside of the ring. Magnificent feats of strength. Wasn't a jackhammer. It was something else he did. It was like, oh, that was great.
Was it the Fisherman Buster or the Brain Buster? One of the two.
It was something wild he did. And I was like, oh, that was super cool. Everyone looks strong. Everyone looks great. I don't want to ramble. Samoa Joe hits Claudio in the face. Like, he doesn't try to not
full on.
He just hits him. He doesn't try to hide it or any. Everyone else, he's doing, soft feather, whatever. He's just decks Claudio every time. Which
also, I want to jump in just quickly. Adolfo is posting, and Adolfo know that Gabe Kidd is a monster in NJPW. Adolfo, I'm going to put on my entire nerdy wrestling glasses here. I have been a fan of Gabe Kidd since he was a young lion in WCPW when he was just coming off his first excursion. This kid has grown from a wiry little kid who did not know what he was doing and had to be like the butler gimmick for a little while to tearing it up all over the country. So Gabe Kidd getting his flowers here to be able to even work this match is amazing. I'm with you on this, Professor. I'm worried they're not going to use him correctly. Benny, do you know anything about Gabe Kidd's past in that respect, or did you know that he came that far, or?
To be honest with you, no. But I remember back when he was a New Japan Young Lion, under the name Gabriel Kidd.
Yep.
And one thing about this guy is that ever since he found this new sense of character or new sense of self, he reminds me a lot of clearly somebody's been watching Kevin Steen matches.
Oh yeah.
Because this guy doesn't stop talking the entire time. And I love that kind of thing, His smash mouth, and he's going to talk crap to you.
I can't wait till they get him a chance to actually have a promo on his own where he's not stuck behind these guys. But we get to the end of the match. The Ops end up picking up the victory, and then we get the setup for what's going to happen later on again as Claudio and the Death Riders beat down Joe specifically and Pillmanize his neck in order to take him out so he can't be part of Avengers Assemble later on in the evening. Crazy.
Which is a
match.
shame.
Yeah.
Because he would have been great at Avengers Assemble later on in the evening. Now that we know,
they don't need a Hulk. It's Avengers Assemble 2. So
I know. I just like Samoa Joe.
We all do. We hope. We wish him the best. Hopefully, he recovers from that Pillmanizing. This didn't take me out of it necessarily, but this is me theater fun brain. 4 or 5 grown men trying to carry Samoa Joe and put him on a back brace and then put him on a stretcher is rather funny. Especially when they're not really checking his neck. They're just sort of, you got a big head. And 1 or 2 of them oh, this is a large man. Yeah, this is Samoa Joe. Damn, you a big bitch.
What happened? They used, a whole island to carry him out and off and out.
They used the same amount of people that came out for the men's casino gauntlet match, which we had up next.
Exactly.
It was the exact
every 10 seconds, another guy comes to carry Samoa Joe.
Just like we had there, which was our second match. I was wondering where they were going to stick this match in the card itself. Sure. We had
good
our
segue.
first 2.
Good segue.
I do what I can sometimes, especially when Adolfo's poking me from behind. But we had our number 1 and number 2 folks already locked in for this. MJF and Mark Briscoe. They got into it. We had a nice little back and forth with them. It was really good to set up. Ricochet joins the match, followed by Bandito, Takeshita, who was our pick, Professor, if you remember, to win this thing, because we're a bunch of nerds and we're basically hipsters at this point.
And I still, we'll talk about it. Go ahead.
Mystico, Anthony Bowens, Roderick Strong, Brody King, and then we both got a point off this, I believe, the return of JC Mateo Light Juice Robinson because he's missing the beard. Kota Ibushi, the Beast Mortos, and Max Caster. Those were how many people got into this. This was nonstop. There was great match moments in between folks, between Mystico saving Bandito from getting his mask ripped off, Takeshita cleaning house across the board. Anthony Bowens was there. Roderick Strong basically being the punching bag for most of this entire thing. Right. Was there a moment that either of you had that stood out the most as that this made this match work?
Something that's colored this for me is just today, somebody released the backstage footage of Juice standing there in gorilla position waiting, and his music goes and the crowd goes nuts. And you see him turn around, clean shaven, huge smile, just like a small child, just, they like me. And both Gun Brothers are like, let's effing go. And they're going crazy. And he walks out there and you see the whole crowd on that side stand up. I mean, beautiful. Oh my God.
They say when you're out that long in wrestling that you wonder if they'll remember you. And that I feel was that moment for him. It's like they remember me, and that's amazing.
And I almost think, and I've heard there's other interviews I've heard, and not to plug other folks, but there's this thing that happens when you get injured or when you're away for a while or something happens where you go, I wonder if they ever did like me. It's sort of that imposter syndrome thing. We all get it, actors, teachers, podcasters. Like, does what we do matter? And in that moment, you're sort of like, oh yeah, this is what I do. And he killed it. Those first 90 seconds he had were like, oh my God, you look great. Good. So
you gotta be when you're married to Toni Storm. I mean, come on.
She will check you. Like, she will make sure you better be. I thought this was so much fun. Ricochet selling everything was just insane. I still, like I said already, he's a fantastic seller, all his stuff. He had a good 30, 40 seconds with Mortos in the middle where I was like, oh, Mortos just murdered him. Huh, cute. There's some, I still, Takeshita and King were still my dark horses. I really thought they were going to pull the trigger there, but.
No, it didn't happen. And we know
Benny, use your words. Benny, use your words.
I'm just saying, Mortos also didn't commit murder. You know that Mortos knows it's alleged because he's a lawyer. Anyhow, Benny, go ahead.
One thing I loved about the
thank you, Adolfo.
Good old Frank.
Go ahead, Benny.
One thing I loved about the Casino Gauntlet was like like Bandito comes out and then like maybe like a minute later Takeshita comes out and they're like, it's random intervals. And you're like, what are the rules?
No rhyme or reason.
This is totally random. Oh, look who it is.
Yeah, right. Like,
I'm waiting for one of these to get to the point where they point to somebody in the crowd. They just have to jump out. They were not announced for the match, and they're like right there to go.
They do the Michael Cole thing where they just go, it's you, and they just start taking off. Oh, yeah. That'd be fun.
And it's the Beast Mortos in the glasses sitting in the crowd. Just
like the Michelle McCool spot, like, oh, me?
Exactly.
I was just watching with my kids.
I mean, I'm here with my family. Hold my beer, and then go
why not,
wreck house.
Right?
Oh, it's a matter of time.
Beast Mortos is there with little Beast Mortos and small calf Mortos, and but either way, we had a bunch of great moments here. Again, I say Anthony Bowens was there. He took a lot of punishment, but again, he's running into the problem that he still doesn't know who he is. Right. The Guns come out to save Juice Robinson from some punishment there. Ibushi had a nice run. Max Caster playing with Bowens was fun. But we get to the point where Briscoe hits Roderick Strong with the J-Driller, and MJF, that little squirrely devil, sneaks right in, knocks Briscoe out of the way, gets the pin, wins the match. And we have our person who has now won a title shot upcoming. I think at Forbidden Door, if not before that. I don't remember exactly what it is.
Looking back, I picked with my heart because I really wanted to beat Takeshita. I really wanted him to get out of the Callis family and do something different. MJF, like the rest of the world picked, is like, okay, yeah, I guess you're right. That does make sense.
I think we were hoping that AEW would not just do the usual thing, and we forgot that they always do the usual thing. Except
that's the thing. If it makes sense, they're not going to do it. Yeah, that's kind of what we say around here.
But yes, we had our winner MJF, which was a strong finish to that match. We kind of went into the next going, okay, TNT Championship's coming up. It's going to be a great match. And then we got some heartbreaking news, and we have a little something special to remind you of that.
With my highest moments and recently my lowest moments, all of you have been so supportive every step of the way, and damn it, I will love you forever. Thank you so much. I don't want to take up any more of your time because we have the best damn wrestling pay-per-view you've ever seen happening right now. We're gonna have a new TNT champion tonight. Once again, you will continue to watch AEW do pay-per-view like nobody else in the world does. And from me, honestly, from everybody at AEW, thank you for making AEW what it is. Thank you for making AEW so special. And thank you all so damn much for changing my life. I love you always.
It hurts.
Oh man.
Go ahead. Did you have words?
It sucks that CTE still is undefeated.
Yeah.
In a lot of different ways. And that's the alleged thing we're hearing now. But the fact that he was ready to retire that night and still came out and gave that heartfelt speech, like, well-deserved in that respect. Like, whatever you feel about Adam Cole and his career, and whether you followed him or enjoyed him, I think we can all agree he's given pretty much everything to this business and in a lot of ways changed it for the good, and that was well-deserved. And luckily for him, wasn't cut off after 90 seconds like the other Fed did to somebody's retirement speech. But
yeah,
what you two saw this? Did you even think this was a work, or like, do we understand what this was in the moment?
It was so genuine. It didn't come off as a work necessarily. Granted, I watched this in chunks, and this wasn't ruined for me. All I heard was Adam Cole says something. I went, I wonder what he says. And then, so this did surprise me because I didn't hear the entirety of it. It did get me. What's lovely about the way Tony Khan runs AEW is he gave him this moment to do this. And I don't think other companies would have, or previous regimes would have either. They would have found a way to take the credit themselves, or talk about it weeks later, or, pre-tape something. But this was genuine. He found out, I guess, within 48 hours of this match, they went, you can't go. And they waited this long to get him cleared, which is still surprising to me. I'm not sure if it was a second opinion situation, or if it was, hey, maybe if, or hey, can we do a match without this or that? And it was just too much.
Yeah.
That tells me a lot about how the organization is run and what they do and the respect they have. And all of that aside, I want to say, and I was reading this earlier, I'm paraphrasing, I can't quite remember. He's almost retired 2 other times. Once because of something else with his head, and once something else with his legs or whatever else. And they were like I can't quite remember.
It was the injury he had. It was the injury he had at Grand Slam, where he basically like completely just dissolved his foot.
Yeah, he had none foot left.
And then it was like another concussion. This is the first time when he got the first concussion.
Yeah,
while he was training back. Benny, you've seen this as well. Like, what were you feeling at the moment when that came through?
Like, to be honest with you, like, it messed with how I perceived the first half of the next match, the 4-way, because I was still like in sort of a daze, like if this is it, like, thank you so much.
That's a hell of a gear shift, right?
Yeah, it's a hell of a gear shift.
Well,
and I think the crowd felt the same, though. There's a good, even during the entrances of everyone else, they're still like, oh God, wait, what? Like, we still have a match to watch? Like,
we talk about who was in this match. We have our Iron Men here. Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara are added to this to make it a fatal 4-way, which, in the long run, I think screwed over all of us in the predictions round, because this is just a non-match anymore.
Right.
But we all thought Kyle was going to walk out with this, and they put on a hell of a clinic, having just wrestled now 24 hours earlier, and then wrestled literally an hour before this, to go ahead and put on that clinic that they all had together. Kyle Fletcher getting the entire crap kicked out of all of his balls, all 3 of them. Like,
all three huevos. Yeah.
All 3 huevos. We met him in person. We're very well versed in this, but
he's we call him a friend. He's super great.
he is quite the funny man. Stole Adolfo's monster because he liked it better than Sky Blue. But it just...
That's right.
We thought there was a way to go with this. I understand the need for a feel-good thing with Danny Garcia being in the ring as well with them, but giving Dustin Rhodes the championship that his brother left the company with, and that's a whole fun, like, feel-good story. It's just... I understand why they do it. I still don't know how I feel about the ending for that. I don't know if that was the right thing to do.
I'm kind of there with you. I'm not exactly sure. It tells me, like, we've been talking the last, I don't want to say year, because it hasn't been that long, but we've been talking, hey, I wonder if Dustin Rhodes is trying to get out. Hey, I wonder if Dustin Rhodes wants to just train and not do this. And I I think this might be it. Like, hey, we'll give you a title push. We'll give you some of these other things. Maybe you retire on top. Maybe you could do something else for a while. But let's give you the thing you never had in Texas. And to do it, I wonder if it was an audible, because he was very emotional. I
think it was definitely
may not have known.
They
might have called it right before the match, like, Dustin, it's you, go.
Yeah,
because they were calling spots all over the place. Like, there was some beautiful stuff, and not quite Spanish Fly they did off the apron, which looked like it damn near killed Garcia. Like, the
Spanish fool.
Yeah, exactly. What else was there? The crossroads. That whenever Fletcher takes the crossroads, I think he's going to die. Like, he took two of them, both of them he sold beautifully. He
sells it like Rhea Ripley does with her DDTs. Like,
absolutely, that legs up thing. Like, oh god, beautiful stuff. I thought this was fun. They were calling spots. They were just doing what they love. It does botch a lot of storytelling, and like Benny was saying, the first half of this, I was like, oh man, Adam Cole. What? I'm like on my phone checking Adam Cole stuff while this is going. So I was a little distracted.
Benny, what did you think? Did you think they did the right thing by pulling this audible, or should it have gone to somebody else?
I think in the moment, I think it was the right call, because they needed to, obviously, as I previously mentioned, that like they need to bring the crowd back up, and like a happy win for Dustin. With it being like his first belt since I think like 2002, like first singles title since 2002, like which he deserves everything he gets, you know, like but like there
was
his
first singles title forever, so I mean that's a huge thing.
Oh, absolutely, and
that's crazy. Ever
since 2002.
Wow, that's wild.
Right. And like there was a spot where like I think it was Garcia and Fletcher where like they each had somebody like the Sons of Texas in a submission, and they're just slapping the crap out of each other. And like I love the slap spot, no matter who's doing it. You know,
we get a few of those later that are pretty impressive too. Like, I'm gonna slap you. I'm gonna slap you too.
And Benny, I gotta get you watching Mystery Wrestling. You'll love some of those slap fights in there. It's a lot of fun.
Dustin's chops are different. Like, there's this weird, like, heaven and earth, like, bam thing. Not a lot of over the hand chops. Look devastating to me. That one's like, oh god, that's a heart punch.
And the gloves make it sound amazing too. But we did have Dustin Rhodes crowned our new TNT champion, which is a complete swerve of everything going on, because we didn't know what it was about to happen, and then we got another swerve in a good way in the next match we had.
2 for 2 on segues. Very well done.
We had, so I'm going to set this stage here. We had the worst Will Ospreay entrance that he's ever had, because it was just generic. Come out first. I mean, he's had better versions of this entrance selling Assassin's Creed at other events. And then we had Swerve Strickland make his entrance with JoJo Offerman, you know, the widow of Bray Wyatt, singing Shaka Khan, which he used on the Indies. So amazing stuff there. And then I don't know how Justin Roberts still had a voice after announcing the Young Bucks and their list of accomplishments as they rowed a boat into the stadium.
Yeah, but it came off like a Christopher Guest movie.
Right.
The boat didn't go fast enough.
Yep.
Everything was slow.
Yep.
They're all filling time. Like, hello, look at me. And finally they just get out and walk. The boat stopped working. I was laughing so hard.
It was a great homage to WrestleMania 3.
It was hysterical, and I don't know if it was a work or not, but it was definitely like, we're going to come in on a boat, and the boat's just going to stop. And we're still going to pretend we're looking at people like, oh, my God, what have we done?
A tall for Stonehenge, a magical place. Yes, seeing as they just re-released that movie into theaters. I love that reference comes through. This match, though, the minute we got to the ring, there was no off button. I don't know how many, like, it got to the point where I was like, this is ridiculous amount of near falls, like things they shouldn't be kicking out of. They still are. I got to ask for each of you, was there one moment you can think of that really truly like explains this match to folks? Like that was the match boiled down? Because I have mine, but I don't know if you two have one.
Go, Benny, go. Go, Benny, go.
I'm
just putting him on the spot.
Yeah, right.
Jerk.
Not the first time. But not gonna be the last. I'm like kidding. But like there was a spot where the Bucks hit more bang for your buck, and which is a move that they don't really pull out very often, and it's and then like that sets up like the next sequence because Swerve gets like his knees up, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did.
And Nick does the jump to the outside and it's classic. It's just like classic Young Bucks silliness mixed with the precision of Ospreay and Swerve, right? Perfect.
Oh yeah,
it's a perfect match.
And I think the silliness works better with them as heels to me. It just comes off more genuine and goofy, like in a sort of conniving, Snidely Whiplash, old school cartoon kind of way. It just works. There's that 90 seconds in the middle where I think they're just I'm sure stuff was planned. I'm sure they called spots. I'm sure everything was professional. They knew what they were doing. There's that 90 seconds in the middle where it's just kick thing, kick thing, kick thing, destroyer, kick thing. And it's like a sprinkler going off. Boom, 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 boom.
You don't know where to look.
Where are we going? What are we doing? That was crazy. The tombstone on the outside on Swerve with I think it was Matthew doing the flip into him to put him on the ground was like, oh my God. Stuff I had not seen. I think I've seen the Young Bucks do, but with Swerve and Will in there, they just make it look so beautiful.
The outside Meltzer driver was insane.
That's what
got me about this was that they one-upped each other in their own moveset as they went along. Like they did a Meltzer driver with a Swerve stomp. They did a bunch of other stuff. It was ridiculous, and you felt the gravitas of it because there was that huge stipulation. If Will and Swerve didn't win, they were going to not be able to challenge for the title for a year. And like we called, the EVPs lose their EVP titles in this match. They lose to Swerve and Ospreay because Matt and Nick have already said they want to go out and do some other things in their other places. They don't want to be EVPs anymore outside of kayfabe. So this is a great way to kind of reset that.
Do whatever they do. Sell beautiful hair wigs for bald men. I think that this is on my list of matches of the year. I went back and rewatched it today as I was finishing up other things and looking at it. It's incredible. Like it's one of those, if you are a tag team wrestler, this is how it should go. This is the first thing, and our producer Rodolfo is going to love this. This is the first thing comparable to CMLL that I've seen since I watched it about a month ago or 3 weeks ago. This is the first feeling I got that was similar. Like, oh, let's go. Here we go. Boom, boom, boom. It's not going to stop. And it was calculated. They had the storytelling in there. They were blending styles. Matthew's hidden blade was just as horrifying as Will's.
Tag rope be damned, right?
Oh my God!
Right. No finisher is sacred anymore. We just do things. Getting a house call and a hidden blade at the same time to end it was wild to me. Mm-hmm. We didn't need anyone interfering. I was terrified this was going to be a Death Riders running in, hitting someone with a chair. All of that stuff. Hey, Robert. Yes.
Good to see you in the chat, Robert. Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
This is on my matches of the year. Easy. And it's easy. Every Will Ospreay match, you could be like, it's a match of the year. This was incredible. Like, this was just a blast.
we expected nothing less from this, but that they end up winning that. So Swerve and Ospreay can now go after those titles for the next year, and hopefully that keeps that scene kind of vibrant. What this means for EVP powers, I don't know, but I also believe this was set up earlier in the year because as they've moved Okada away from the EVPs and brought him to the Don Callis family, they were doing something to push them back. So I think this was kind of already set up as it was. We move then from work rate upon work rate to a complete utter, in the best possible way, cluster schmoz as the women's casino gauntlet match comes out. We get, do we say woman meat, mashing meat? Because that sounds weird. I don't know.
You can say that.
It's muscle mommy mayhem. I don't know. Like
you can never unsay what you just said. You will be the man who said that.
I will. Mikey leaves, and I set that precedent. Also, quickly back before Robert's right. He did think Jack Perry was going to pop out at some point to actually interfere in the Bucks match. I'm glad he didn't.
We talked
there hasn't
about
been a good way to bring him in. We didn't talk about it at all. Jack Perry hasn't been on people's lips yet, so it's a little surprising.
We mentioned it when we were doing our picks. We brought him up. And we were thinking about, is this the time? Is this how it is? And I'm very glad they held off on this.
It was the best way possible. But we had Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne starting us off, going to town on each other. I want that match separately. I want to see that as it is. I don't need it in a gauntlet match. They need to set that up. Fitting that Willow Nightingale comes in to break up that at that point. Now we've got all this fun stuff running around. Weird. The women have really good storylines all around them, where some of the men had some tough times getting those together for this pay-per-view. So very strange.
It's almost like the women have to work twice as hard and think about twice as much than the men do. Wow.
But we had Willow jump in. Ty Mello coming up next with Anna Jay hanging around. Thekla and Julia Hart coming in, and by this point we're starting to see some more people than usual in the arena and getting involved in the match, like Sky Blue getting put into a couple of different submissions. She got Mina Shirakawa's figure 4 later on. Queen Aminata going after Thekla, which was great. Mina Shirakawa, Thunder Rosa, and Athena came in next up after their amazing battle at ROH. Syuri debuts. And I cannot wait to see how they do not use her going forward, because obviously she's going to get buried again like everybody else there. And then another debut, and Alex Windsor, Mrs. Will Ospreay, joining the match. This was like Joshi and then I think a little GCW mixed together. It was ridiculous.
They hit way harder than the men did in the casino. I'm like they had their spots. Brody King threw some chops. There's some other things in here. They're just destroying each other.
Harley Cameron coming in a cat mask. Yes, I saw Black Irish. Woman's meat smashing meat. Sounds like something to work with Lord. Woman meat's back on the menu, boys.
I can't quote it because we'll get kicked off. But if anyone knows the English of the phrase that Gimli says about the axe, it's quite similar to what JVL just said. Anyway, please continue.
So we had a lot of different storylines clashing. Really great work rate on this. Things that we want set up earlier. Again, Harley Cameron back. So glad to see her in a cat mask.
Yes.
Which then, if you didn't watch her social media afterwards, where she starts with the Bane voice and then goes from there, check that out. Her and Anna Jay. It's so perfect.
I've missed her so much.
But when we went into this, we all, you and I both thought Megan Bane's taking this. She's been nonstop this whole time. It was what we needed. Were we completely blown away by who took this and won?
No.
I
think it's fine. I'm a little, to be selfish. I'm selfish because my picks got destroyed for All In. I was all over the place. I had no chance. I think
Robert, we're with you. We're really glad that Athena won the match. But
I love that Athena won it. Yeah, it is a surprise because we're not used to the curveball. We're like, they're going to play it safe. They're going to do this. They're going to do that. They're going to do that. Oh, it's Athena? Which tells me they have long-term plans in the women division and still none long-term plans in the men division.
And yet we get one women's match a night. Anyway, Benny, Benny, how did you feel seeing Athena take this gauntlet match?
I can't remember who it was. Megan Bain did.
I was talking to the other bald man. I asked Benny.
I'm sorry. I'm the wrong bald man. Carry on.
So Athena winning, I was all about, because I was a huge fan. Obviously, who isn't, right? But I just hope she doesn't Samoa Joe that belt after 900 days. And I like that. I thought it was a little bit of a cluster after a little while, but I liked how they had established in the men's one earlier that outside interference is just okay, I guess. Because
it's gonna happen.
It's just gonna happen. And Sky Blue doing the tucked super kick with those freaking the combat boots on.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
it landed too. You could tell. And the other thing I loved seeing was Mina and Suri working together, and this is Joshi royalty, beating the crap out of each other the entire time.
And they got a good 90 seconds, no one touching them. Okay, you go do what you do. And that sequence was awesome. Getting her over the shoulders, going into that section, that was great. I hope that's where we're going. I hope we get to see them both.
My worry with that is that if you didn't watch ROH, Mina picked up the interim women's television championship. So are they pushing Suri down to ROH to fight Mina there, which we won't see any of that fun stuff for a year and a half until Red Velvet is better. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff coming out of this. I want to see what they do with Alex Windsor. I don't want her to be Deonna Purrazzo'd, which I hate that I'm using that as a verb, but that's basically
it sucks it sucks that makes sense. But yeah, you're right.
But Athena winning is amazing, but it started to make me worried about the first part of our main event, because knowing the history that one of the competitors in the women's championship match has with Athena, were we getting something setting up Athena going straight for the belt, which we'll get to in a second. But that was my worry going to this, but congratulations to Athena for getting that. We then jumped to the match where all three of us picked all of the teams in. We had a nice spread on. Between the Patriarchy, the Hurt Syndicate, not business, and Jet Speed going for the tag team championships in a three-way. Professor, you shaking your fist at this. You were right. You took this. Talk me through what you thought of the match.
I thought this was great. I had fun watching this. Christian still up there with the best sellers in the company, in my opinion, because Christian always looks like he's dying. Which makes sense for how this goes, and we'll talk about it when we get there. I love Jet Speed. It kind of makes me sad that as far as singles competitors go, they're going to be kind of stuck in this tag team thing because they're so good at it. Everything Bobby Lashley did to the two of them, again, it felt like they were going to die.
Well, what
Funny
about
how they're... Go ahead.
What about Shelton doing the German over the ropes?
Oh, my God. I love that Taz was like, I've never seen that before. I was like, yeah. I don't think
Taz was filling at that point, because this is where we had FTR and commentary at the same time.
Yes, Taz was trying to help Cardboard 1 and Cardboard 2 fix it. That was terrifying. And yeah, Taz was like, I've never seen that before. Yeah, because no one's been dumb enough to say, yeah, go ahead, throw me over the ropes.
Exactly. Thank you, Mike Bailey.
Necks don't grow back.
They don't. Benny, who did you think was winning this before we came through it?
To be honest with you, I thought Jet Speed was gonna win, but I
it didn't end up working
agree.
That way.
Yeah, no.
This did have shenanigans written all over it, right? This did have MJF interfere. This had someone's coming in to do something to someone all over it. We just didn't know what, when, where, how.
And I was surprised that they were trying to there's been this talk of the Patriarchy trying to win the titles to be the first father-son team in AEW, which would have been hysterical to get to, but they end up completely losing it at that point. The Hurt Syndicate take care of business, take everyone down, and as they're walking out, FTR assaults the Patriarchy, going after Christian, and Nick Wayne sets up Christian for a concerto, and we're sitting here thinking, we had talked about some help in this respect, something going on. There's no way that Nope Cope ends up coming out to his theme to help out his brother Christian, and pulls a Matt Hardy Jeff Hardy, which is hysterical.
Sure. Oh no, you're gonna
watched,
die? Let me do my entrance real quick.
Have you seen the ringside video from this beatdown afterwards?
From the Hardy or Adam?
No. It's in the ring from Christian being ready for the concerto. The music hits and everyone turns in the ring like they're supposed to, and Christian can't get off the chair. So they have to shove him a little bit, and he kind of rolls off the chair, and then Nick Wayne kind of helps him get to the ropes and pushes him over, and then stands back up ready to go as Cope is running back and forth doing his entrance. It's so bad.
Oh man.
I do remember seeing Dax kick the chair from underneath Christian's head, and he's pushing Nick Wayne he's giving him directions as he's coming down.
Right. No, he's coming. Get out of the way.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And Black Irish, you're right about that. He was hot dogging to the biggest extent, where he's coming over and shaking at the crowd and trying to grab things over here with Spike.
He was damn near signing autographs. He was just hanging out on the top of the ramp,
mullet flowing. It was just crazy. But he comes in to save Christian and get everyone out of the ring. It hits the chair out of Nick Wayne's hand with Spike. Yeah. That's gotta hurt. And then picks him up and tells Christian to find himself, not to go, F himself, to go find himself.
Go find yourself.
What do we think is coming out of this? Because I don't think this is a fast turn on Christian's part.
I mean, if it's not a montage of Christian drinking ayahuasca in Brazil, I think that's a missed opportunity.
He's in a sensory deprivation tank,
doing sensory deprivation chambers,
but he's still wearing the turtleneck, nothing else below.
Going to Tony Robbins conventions at big super churches. I will believe in myself.
I manifest that I am the best.
All the things. It's got to be every self-help joke as long as possible until it's him in a dark room with Gangrel drinking from a chalice and he finds himself.
We see him in an ayahuasca haze as visions of Kill Switch fly past him.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot they can do, and I'm sure Christian has ideas, and I'm sure Adam and Christian have been thinking about this for 3 years, right? They were
trying to set it up before to do the Hardys when the Hardys were there, but they're not there anymore.
Yeah, so they've had something of a plan. They totally bait and switched us. Yeah, we knew it was a possibility, but doing it this way worked. Oh my God, you got me. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna go full comedic on it. I hope. The days of MJF, Adam Cole. Are still some of the best promos and comedy stuff I've ever seen. I think what's great is they have so many things they can do, and I'm talking too much. Benny, go. Benny, go.
Actually, just to play off that idea, I love the idea of Christian sitting in a room just being huh, that's how I roll.
Wait a minute.
Where are my peeps? I've been missing my peeps.
It's so funny, actually.
This better be good. We're hoping
going through a photo album, oh yeah. Or finds a shirt, an old shirt in the closet, oh hey.
I remember what 5 seconds feels like.
Oh yeah.
But
we need the 5 second pose.
There's a giant cowboy hat coming in the future for that, but we have to move on. Unfortunately, folks, we have to keep going here. We could riff on that for a while.
It's a great pivot. It's a great switch. We love where it's going.
But here, the reason why we have to move on. All 3 main events on this card lived up to their billing in different ways, and each of them could have been interspersed in different places in this 3 set. But honestly, as much as I enjoyed the final match, and as much as I really did enjoy the storytelling in the penultimate, this next match was my match of the night. This was for the women's title.
Okay.
This was put together, and it was very different from the other 2, but the story involved and the ferocity involved that happened between Timeless Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné was picture perfect. I have not been a Mercedes Moné stan for quite a while, and you know that if you've watched our reviews. I have had my issues with her, with not just the booking, but just
I feel like we've been critical, but fair. Like, I don't think we've been out of pocket or anything.
We've been worried that she either is not feeling herself enough in AEW to be able to actually turn the next gear, or that she has been saddled with so much that she's not able to be creative. This, cast those doubts aside, this was beautiful. Please elaborate, but this was beautiful, as we had our surprise for us in this one that we definitely voted against, Professor.
Yeah. This was a New Japan style Mercedes Moné. Like, this was international style Mercedes. This is the one that we've been waiting for. I don't know if it's because she had a certain amount of time to plan this, or they said all gas, no brakes, go, or whatever it was. I'm not sure. Really creative spots here. Some really was it Tony on Luther's shoulders, running him off, the apron was wild, and then going right into the Meteora into Luther before breaking his glasses. Like, that was a wild moment. There's one or two forearm sequences they had in here where they were rocking each other.
Tony got hand stuck in Mercedes' hair at the same time. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's right, and like, that hurt. I this might be going out on a limb. I think Mercedes was genuinely having fun here. I don't know if I'm sure she's always having fun, and I'm a bald guy at a podcast. What do I know? But it came through this time, right? Making fun of Tony doing the synchronized swimming thing at one point, which was a really fun bit. Laughing at stuff in between. Like, you could see her smiling and enjoying some of that stuff that was going on. I mean, I just don't want to call out spots just because I could do that all the time. This is right in there for me too. I might be watching this again at the end to be like, hey, this could be a match of the year. It was, if it was women's matches, this is there. Easy.
Oh, 100%.
It's great.
Benny, what did you think?
To be honest with you, like, I love what Tony has been bringing out of Mercedes lately. Like a lot of people's biggest critique, myself included, is that, like, you know, she just sort of seems like she's playing a part a lot of the time. But like, she just, like, found the character, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Tony brought that out of her, and like Luther's involvement in this was absolutely perfect. Never doubt Luther, man.
There have been times, but you're right. And I mean, Tony addressed that in her post-show stuff as well. I agree with you both. They were having fun. I think Mercedes felt like she had permission to finally have fun. This wasn't just about a record or anything else.
Right.
Maybe felt freer because she knew she was going to lose. But between stealing stuff from each other, multiple finishers, the Avalanche Storm Zero to win this, and I'm sorry, biting her in the crotch before delivering something out, like, it just was so fun. And also,
and you can catch. I'm watching parts of the replay and jumping through like I always do to jog my brain. Mercedes Moné is smiling the whole time.
Yeah,
she is laughing the whole time, and it's just so great. And I think that's something let her off the hook, where she gave herself permission to just have fun with this.
Yeah,
maybe it's the pressure of carrying everything, like we talked about. We the first few months she was here, we felt like it was her promos were kind of cardboard because she had the weight of all of that. Her promos leading up to this, even though it's only been a few weeks, have been great. Like, they've been super fun, and Tony has been answering the call right back. Like,
but we knew she would. She is spectacular in that respect. Oh, yeah. But we get to the point now where both Professor and I had voted that Mercedes was going to win this. We thought that was the case with Athena winning the Battle Royal. I thought that was secured. I was pleasantly surprised to have Tony retain and go on now. She's got a program set up with Athena, at least, if not Megan Bain still. There's a lot of places she can go. She can be a forever champion for all I care. She makes everything new every time she does it with every new person.
Thinking of her and Athena? Wow.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
Damn. That's crazy.
So,
and I'm biased. Her Megan Bain? Jeez.
Let's see it again.
Just The promos and jokes alone are gonna be great whenever that happens.
Wendy Richter, when she finally gets off her ass, it'll be great.
Yeah.
This
Pick
was
up the
my
phone,
match of the
Wendy.
night. Yeah,
Wendy,
this was
pick up the phone.
She's picked it up. She asked for a lot of money. I don't know if they're going to give it to her. We'll see what happens. But this was my match of the night. I love the other two as well, and they were for me as well. But this was storytelling and fun and just ingenious spot monkeying that I just loved. I'm sorry, I really did. I think, as Mikey says, fight me.
For the greater context of women's wrestling right now, and we'll talk about this, and this is another rabbit hole, and I'm not going to get into it before Adolfo pokes us. This is the kind of match that the tide that rises all boats type of thing, right? Like, here you all, we have been seeing, this is the work that we do. Stop running your mouths, Reddit. Like, they are capable. They're killing it. It's kind of why AEW's, in my opinion, becoming the marquee promotion, but that's another conversation.
Very true. And this would have fit right in with the show that ran on next on Sunday. So it was right where it needed to be. It was if not better than most of the stuff on there. But we jump from there from fun storytelling and people getting to work together that love each other in that respect, in the way of like respecting each other's process, to two men who have spent the better part of their lives fighting each other. 7 different matches, kind of tied up to the most part, unifying a title together, and both admitting going into this match, they're not the same people from NJPW. They're not the same young men that put on 5-star classics. This was going to be a different worked match, and by God, this was. Less shenanigans that I thought would come out of it. You had great work on both ends of it, and seeing Okada and Omega use ring psychology more than moves in a lot of these spaces was just a breath of fresh air for their entire rivalry. I don't know how you two felt about that, but that's where I sat with it.
Go Benny, go! Go Benny, go!
All right, like the thing is with this rivalry, I mean, we all knew it was coming, right? Eventually, and so. Like when they finally announced the match, they just like went back and watched all 4, all 4, and I do not regret it. And this was, as you said, like it was completely different from the other 4 of them, and but that's what it needed to be. Because they're not the same. They're not the same people, And lastly, a lot of people get on Okada for be like they think he's phoning it in or whatever. But like Okada needs 20 minutes to break a sweat. Like,
dude's cardio is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was going to mention that. I'm glad you say that. He looked exactly the same at the finish in the beginning. Like nothing had. Please continue. Please continue.
And a lot of fans don't have a lot of attention span, myself included, right? But so they're like, there's a census that a good match is between 10 and 15 minutes, right? Okada hasn't even laced his boots in that time.
Exactly.
Yeah. He's barely put on his tape. He's just starting from there.
Yes, exactly. Like, but
I know that they're not the young men that they were, but they were still doing young men stuff.
They were.
Every time
they hit some of their greatest hits.
Kenny's flips, the way he sells things to get out of the way, the way he does other things, delivering palm strikes to the hip and kidneys is dangerous. But he's doing it's like these huge shots. This one commentary took me out of it a lot because commentary was kind of rough here. I love that JR was there. I'm glad that JR was there. I'm not throwing shade at JR. It felt like everyone felt like they had to compensate, and it kind of killed the mood.
As I've said in multiple pay-per-views we've seen going forward, it's now become a 2-man team where both Grandpa JR and Daddy Taz need to be taken out back and just said, okay, time to take your medicine and lie down. Like, we get you here where we can, but
I'm okay that JR was there, but if it was just JR and Excalibur, it probably would have worked.
Probably.
But that was tough. If I hear he's a stud, 4 years ago he was a stud. I mean, this guy's a stud. But JR, I love you. Hang on, 2 seconds, buddy.
How many times do you want to say stud? Okay. Yep.
And then Taz, I don't know how many times Taz must have said abdominal about 50 times. Abdominal muscles, like Taz.
His abominable abdominal muscles.
I get it. Anatomy's a thing for you. Anyway,
he's very like into people's midsections. It's weird.
He's got it. Well, he's got a type.
He's also that height.
He's also a midriff guy. Okada, I don't think something Okada doesn't get credit for it. I'm sure he gets credit for a lot of things. His drop kicks are almost too high. His hops, he could jump over anyone.
Do you not remember that was his finisher in TNA because it was so pretty?
I didn't watch a lot of TNA. Which one was TNA? Oh, I said that out loud. Sorry.
Hey,
I'll watch TNA. I promise I'll watch TNA. Ridiculous. Like he's like touching the top of Kenny's head while he's sitting on the top turnbuckle, like with drop kicks. Like, oh my God. I thought this was a fantastic match, clinic of a match. Doing the story, the American style of what's in between. Yes. We love the theater in between. That's a very American thing when you look at other wrestling and speed and other Japan to a degree, like they'll do the standoffs and so on. But this was very theatrical. And I think Okada's figured it out. He's great. He knows when to flip off the crowd. He knows when to take his time. He knows when to make jokes about it. Kenny was furious half the time. I thought this was fantastic. And they hit super hard. Oh, it was beautiful.
I'm going to say something controversial here. Dom Fallis added to this. Getting that ref pull out.
Because he pulled back.
Yeah.
He wasn't the overt, look at me, I'm the bad guy.
Yeah, I know. He was half chub. He wasn't like a full Dom Fallis. He was a half Dom Fallis.
Oh, I almost said 2 things I shouldn't say.
Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Don't be sorry, Benny. Don't be sorry.
You can go full carny, but after a while, we're over it. He just kind of went half carny, and I went, "Oh, I'm willing to believe you at half carny."
That was pleasant. Yeah, I can deal with half carny. The full carny is just too much for me sometimes.
Yeah, it's just tiny hands, and you can't get them all the way around.
Yeesh. But sorry, because
Jamie,
of that, because of that, we have Aubrey Edwards running down like the Charles Robinson she is, diving in the ring, and we get a back and forth into a second Rainmaker as Okada becomes your unified Continental International Champion. I'm ecstatic to see where this goes. I think I see Takeshita in his future, if not something else, or an Eddie Kingston that's returning. This could be a lot of fun.
Okada Takeshita, man, that's the one.
That's the one.
I would think. I love Eddie. I would happy to see Eddie back, but Okada Takeshita, my God, we kind of called this because we got Ibushi here, right? Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we want to have Omega Ibushi getting their best friends, whatever, leading towards whatever
golden lovers,
possibly towards retirement for Ibushi, because we know his timeline's different than Omega's, maybe even Kenny's, however long he's back.
I mean, CTE is a thing anyway.
CTE is a thing. So this match is fantastic. I think it's what they wanted it to be, and like wrestling nerds folks watching it, like, oh yeah, that's amazing.
And it lived up to following Tony Mercedes. It definitely was a good next one. I wasn't bored watching this. Yeah. And I thought by the end of this 75-hour slog that we got through with this entire pay-per-view, how was I going to have anything left for the championship match at the end? The Texas Death Match that we knew was coming. And then they have a whistler and a guitar player playing the old spaghetti western stuff to ride in Hangman Page to his old theme. And I was locked in. We had everything in this to get him down there, and the Death Riders being all a bunch of little shits. And I'm saying that now because we're at the point where we can't get demonetized afterwards. This was the dustiest of dusty finish thing that we've ever seen. And my God, you're either into this or you're not, because this was a lot over the top. I didn't know how they were going to top this. Did either of you see some of these spots coming to top the other death matches that we've seen before?
Benny, go. Benny, go. Death match, go.
Ooh. All right, a few things. So, when they broke out that glass, right? Like, I know I'm jumping around, but like, I feel like that was John Moxley's way of like getting around using a light tube.
Yeah.
You know for a fact that John wanted to whack him a couple times with a light tube.
Yeah, they just don't need the cancer fumes coming out of the tubes.
But that's
But anyway,
it's so much fun smoking.
Oh my god. And what was it like Hangman coming out to Ghost Town Triumph? What a nerd I am! I know the name of the song. You know, like
well done. Well done.
Much better than us.
Like it was like perfection. Like I knew that like as soon as like the like you know. We're going through the redemption arc. I was like the end game has to be this song, right? Like, and him coming out the good guy side, you know. There's no tunnels right now, but you know what I mean.
Oh no, but there were sides to that Tron, so that makes sense.
Yeah, exactly.
but damn, like also you bring up the glass. How much more painful did it seem instead of like taking bumps or doing anything of those, being dragged through that all over the place?
Yeah.
Some of the selling wasn't selling. Like that just hurt.
Yeah.
Like that was mean.
Yeah.
And that's when you do this match, that's what you have to do. Of course, everyone's talking about the fork spot because that was ridiculous. Taking fork to skull to make blood happen, no gimmick, no nothing. Which means that fork was mighty sharp.
It had to have been. It had to have been, or he was hitting him very hard.
To make that happen. And he held it like you would to gimmick it and still got him great. The chair spot, which was like, oh, that means you're never going to walk again. Cool. Him yelling for the glass.
Yep.
I think it even took commentary by surprise. He yells to her, go get the glass. And I was like, wait.
Marina's playing around with it too. Like I was like, holy crap with that.
Yeah, that's glass. That's no sugar glass. So lots of those things. I was very impressed with where they went and how they had to go. I think there's a need, and we talked about this when we did the review of it, that you want to one-up it. Like, we got to do something to one-up everything that's ever come before. Yeah, but also do the greatest hits, do them well, and don't die.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch. I think some of those death matches where it kind of, I don't want to say fails like it's bad, but where it doesn't hit, is because you're trying to do too much and then someone gets hurt, you cut the match short, or the spot fails when you try to set the bar a certain way. They did some dangerous stuff, not safely, but as close to safe as they could.
Well, the fact that he did, the paradigm shift onto the nail bed, his head went straight into that.
Oh, no.
But we did get our Avengers Assemble moments here after a brutal amount of stuff with the barbed wire, with everything else going on. We have Ospreay coming down. Oh yeah, blunt force trauma and hanging.
Yes.
Oh my god. We had Will coming down. He gets rallied by the Death Riders and gets Pillmanized. And we're like, how is this going to work? How is this going to get better? What can we do here? And we get a video promo from the top of the world. Darby Allin saying he's going to take everything from Jon Moxley, and he repels like his daddy Sting down from the rafters and just coffin drops himself into everybody.
Yeah. Great moment. You only get like 20 minutes at the top of Mount Everest, by the way. When you get up there, you're only allowed up there for 20 minutes because there's a queue of, I don't know, hundreds of other yuppies trying to get up the mountain. So you got to go back down the other way. So you get 20 minutes. Darby Allin had like 4 days to think of a promo with no oxygen at the top of Mount Everest.
And it was the most coherent one he's ever had.
And it made total, it was like, that was as articulate as this. Okay, great. That makes sense. Lack of oxygen does wonders for you, kid.
But the best that we had after that was we had Darby come in to get his moment. You think, okay, this is great. And Marina goes to get the briefcase holding the belt. And what? I'm handcuffed down here by a dancing Prince Nana. As Swerve comes in and we get what we have been building up to. And you know what? Well earned for this moment. This didn't feel forced. This didn't feel like it didn't fit. Swerve shooting the chain into him and letting Hangman get his win. Poetic indeed. Poetic indeed.
Super smart. Great theater, great narrative. She took one or two bumps of the night going through the table.
Yeah.
And then something else happened to her. And I was like, oh, look at you getting crushed.
I think it was a full chair shot or something. It was like something big. But
she took a chair, I think, too, right? You know, again, we could talk about all these spots if we really wanted to, but this was nothing felt out of place. I mean, at the same time, I was terrified in every moment that came out, right?
And Moxley sold the end perfectly. You saw the fear in his eyes.
Oh, perfect.
Go, Benny, go. Go, Benny, go.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was like, go.
Yeah, no, your thoughts. We want your thoughts.
So I thought but like it was perfect with the way that like they tempered expectations with Will Ospreay coming out and then just getting murdered like right away. So like it sort of like took the crowd like, wait, it's just what? Like what's happening
wait,
now?
The bad guys are winning.
and then Brian shows up in the Blue Panther mask.
I forgot about the Brian one. Yeah.
Brian showing up got me. Like, and I'm kind of a jaded wrestling fan. Like, oh, look, a surprise! Oh, cool, that happened. That got me. I was not anticipating or thinking.
And taking a bump in the glass.
Yeah. Again, I use this with love. It was, put all the action figures out. Let's go. Let's make them all happen. And then this happens. And then that happens. And
don't forget, John, we have to have the ketchup with it too to make it all bloody. So
it's a death match. Playing with your food. Yeah. I
Seriously,
think it gives matches. No,
don't apologize, Benny. You got it. Keep going.
I talk too much. Go ahead, Benny. Go.
Like only Bryan Danielson, right? Like just for the love of the game, right? Like he wants to come back, get his revenge, and then like ride back off into the sunset, right? Like, he wants to come out, like hit a Busaikoni, into some glass, wear his favorite wrestler's luchador mask while doing it. And then like
he earned that being down in CMLL where he used it, so come on.
Exactly.
But that kick he hit Yuta with was like, oh, you're gonna kill him. Like it's like, oh, I haven't kicked anyone in a while. Boom! He's like chopping down trees.
Yuta was the one that put the plastic bag on his head, so come on.
Fair, yeah, no, yeah.
This overall was the best culmination we could have hoped to this entire storyline. It sold everything we needed to do, and Hangman Page gets Moxley to tap out, not pass out, tap out to win the AEW championship, and he breaks down in the ring. Wonderful way to end the night.
That was great. I think Moxley sells choking to death better than we've seen a lot of people sell choking to death. I thought that was great. It kind of put a little bit of the terror in Moxley because Moxley's always had this sort of I'm a fearless murderer thing. It's kind of nice to see him humbled in that way, the way that we've done this. What's great about this match, and we not to dissect this because we're up against it. Usually with death matches, we have nowhere to go after, right? And it's not even that folks are hurt. It's such a peak. It's such a boom. How do you top that? They found a way to make me care about 10 other plot lines. I want to know what Hangman's going to do. I want to know what the Young Bucks are going to do now. I want to know what Swerve is thinking. I want to know if the Death Riders break up. I want to know why Darby? Question mark? Now I have things to think about.
There's another one, Professor, if you haven't thought. Black Irish brings this up. He's never seen Mox or you in the same room, so you never know what could happen.
You never know. I might be bleeding to death in this chair right now. I might have a series of forks hidden throughout this room that you can't see.
Have you eaten dinner yet? Be careful there.
I'm just gonna. I forgot how forks work. I don't know.
Overall, though, last little thoughts there from both of you. Rate this if you can. What did you think of AEW Y'all In? We'll start with Benny. We'll go to Professor. What did you think of this? Was it the best one they've had all year? Give us your final wrapping thoughts.
To be honest with you, I would give it, if I had to grade it, probably a B+. I'm not I guess I'm like tempering expectations a little bit, because like with Brian last year at last year's All In, I don't think anything's ever gonna touch that. You know what I mean? So, but like this, it was a fantastic overall show. Some highs, some awful lows with Adam Cole, but yeah.
That's great. That makes a lot of sense. Professor, last thoughts.
Benny's got it. We love grades around here. We're all teachers, and we need the affirmation of others. Yeah, this is in that B plus A minus 90%, 89%. This is fantastic. I think the only things that we would change would be, this is nitpicky, you got a 6-hour block. If you were there live, oh man, where am I eating my dinner? I'm taking a nap after what? And you get no chance to breathe. And maybe if you're there, it's different because it's the atmosphere or whatever else. Incredible matches. They figured out storylines. AEW gets a lot of criticisms for, you got to make me care. You got to make me care. The last year or so, they've started to right that ship. I'm starting to care more and more. There's outliers. I'm saying that broadly, and I could feel JBL going, "Oh yeah, let me tell you about." I know. But there's a handful.
Glasses up yet? Jesus. All right, fine.
I just felt it coming. I was like, "Oh yeah, but what about all the things?" No, I feel
actually
they're still making mistakes. Well, actually, when you do it,
seriously, Professor, you don't know what you're talking about.
Gianna Palazzo only had a chance at. Yeah, okay. Actually, they were in Ring of Honor for 6 years.
Where is Orange Cassidy? All right, Orange Cassidy. Anyways,
Orange Cassidy up in Canada is doing all these amazing things. Sorry. If you have a list, I apologize. Put it in the comments. It was great. The storytelling is fantastic. 3 matches on here are in my match of the year list that we'll look at the end of the year, just for me to go back over and go, yeah, maybe it's that one, maybe it's that one. It made me like Texas a little. It made me respect going to Texas, which is great. And we got to see almost murders. I think it's a fine 6 hours. That's great. That's all you can ask for.
That's what you can ask for. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for giving up almost all of your Saturday, Sunday, whenever you watched it. So, and then also giving up a good chunk of your time tonight to go over it with us. Big thank you to Benny for joining us tonight out of the blue.
Yeah, Benny, you did it, Benny.
We had a great time with you. And thank you to the Professor for being here and also not being John Moxley again tonight. We need you to be not bloodied, which is great. And thank you to everyone out there in BC WrestlePod land for sticking with us. All of you that were commenting tonight, everything else that was going on. We really appreciate you going along with us here. I just want to say thank you also to Mikey for trusting us to do this without him. We miss you dearly. Have fun on your well-deserved vacation. Jesus Christ.
Seriously.
Also,
all in Texas, you'll be a C+, and here's why. I'm on the internet.
If you like bad lisps, if you enjoy commentary from a bunch of dumb idiot nerds that don't know much and sit on their couches and watch stuff, we have so many ways that you can watch more of these things here. We're on Instagram, we're on Blue Sky, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, merch as well. We have all this cool new merch for our summer of fun and for all of our different shows as well. I recommend the Mystery Wrestling one, the Grapple Gumshoes, one of my favorite shirts there. But join us there and also join our Patreon. We've got extra stuff for you there to really experience with us. One of them might be that the Professor will actually do a lisp on your answering machine. I don't know if I'm just putting it out there for no good reason.
Oh my God. Hi, this is the Professor from BC WrestlePod. I love Orange Cassidy and CMLL. Come check us out every Thursday. We review it all on the BC WrestlePod Conglomeration Podcasting YouTube Network.
It's like you've written it already. And we also, Minnie is saying, hey, guess what, in the comments here. What's up, Minnie? Now we're going to wait for a minute to see us while we don't talk.
Who also hosts this show? I can't not sound like Homestar Runner. That's a joke for anyone over 40.
Homestar10.net is .com. Anyway,
welcome.
Thank you all for joining us this evening.
Population Fork.
Oy. But remember here, thank you as well. Like, you don't have to join us in all those if you don't want to. Drop a like, drop a comment, anything you like to do. But in general, thank you for joining us here and allowing us to just be idiots online talking about wrestling. It brings so much joy to all of us to bring joy to you about this topic. And when you're here with us, remember, you're always Bi-Conic. Stay that way, and we'll see you in the next review. Or we'll
tiene loco en la cabeza cuando me tocas. Siento que todo está bien, pero en verdad